Josh, I'm Casey Johnson with the Chicago Sports Network. Welcome to Chicago. First of all, I'm kind of curious how you came out of the Olympics physically, and how important will this training camp be, given that it was probably an atypical offseason for you, so you haven't been in Chicago working with your new teammates?
Yeah, I mean, the Olympics, I think, and I had the World Cup last summer, so I think throughout the summer, playing these games does help with keeping in game shape, and I think playing's the only real way to stay in game shape fitness. So it's been, I guess, both a plus and a negative, to the point where you don't get a lot of rest in the off season with these, World Cup and Olympics happening. But at the same time, you get to keep playing and you get to represent your country, which is, there's not a lot of things better than that. So I did my ankle on the last play of the game in the quarterfinal against Serbia. I ruptured my ATFL, so it was a pretty, we thought it was just a regular ankle at the time, but flew back to Melbourne, got scans, and they kind of confirmed that. So it's getting better. It's getting to the point where I'm almost back out there, but we're taking it slow. This is not something you want to rush, and because we've got time on our side at this point of the off season, we're just making sure it's 100% before we get back into playing. So everything's been great. Rehab's been going well, and I'm looking forward to getting out there with the guys.
Following up on that, what is the timeline? How long are you sidelined for?
It shouldn't be much longer. It's been about 2 months since the Olympics happened, but I'm right there on the doorstep of playing again, and it shouldn't be too much longer.
Josh, how you doing? Joe Colley, Sun Times. When we spoke to you when you were first traded, one of the things you talked about that the end of that OKC thing taught you was the importance of you becoming a two-way player in defense, and what steps were you able to take towards getting that? And obviously with the ankle injury, that's a setback. But I mean, for you to take that step, is it film study? Is it just a focus and a will to play defense? Because obviously losing Alex Caruso, this team's going to need somebody to be a perimeter defender.
Yeah, look, I mean, defense is, obviously I'm never going to be an Alex Caruso type defender, but I think it's the effort that you put into that side of the ball, and it's obviously never been my game as an elite lockdown defender, but I think everybody can be a positive on that side of the ball, and that's something I've always wanted to keep getting better at. And I had a lot of conversations with Mark when I was in Oklahoma, and there comes a point in a player's career where the fork is kind of put in the road about where you're at defensively, and you don't want to get to a point in your career where you're known as that guy, that weak link on that end of the floor, and I've never wanted to be that. So just trying. I don't think I was a weak link, but I think if you look at the defenders we had, teams, if they had to go at somebody, it was probably going to be me on that team. But that's the guy I don't want to be. And I think over the summer with the Olympics, I took a lot more pride in that side of the ball, keeping my man in front of me, being engaged off the ball. And same thing coming into the Bulls here. Obviously, AC was an elite defender, and it's going to be a collective effort to kind of make up for that. But that's a side of the ball I'm really willing to buy into and will buy into, and I think other guys as well, and we can have a really strong collective defensive unit.
Hey Josh, Andy Diedrich on your Daily News. I asked Vooch this earlier, but coming to this Bulls team, they were bottom 3 in pace last year. You led a very potent Oklahoma City offense last year. What sort of things specifically are you looking to bring on that offensive side to try and jumpstart this offense?
I think exactly that. I mean, you look around this team that we have, and there's a lot of guys that can handle the ball, make plays in the open floor, and it's a big luxury to have. And as a guy myself that likes to kick the ball ahead, that likes to get things going in transition, it's a great group of guys to play with. And I've kind of spoke with them already, and I spoke with Martis a bit, Zach about it, and we want to play up tempo and get moving. And as I said, we've got guys that can. It's positional basketball. It's kind of where the game's headed, and when we can get out in transition, generate early looks, whether it's layups, open threes. Analytically, they're the best percentage shots you're going to get. So we've got a lot of guys that can play the way that we want to, and we've kind of put an emphasis on it throughout the preseason. We've started playing scrimmages with 14-second shot clocks, and just really emphasizing the pace that we want to play at. So as I said, we've got the guys in this group to do it with, and it's just a matter of kind of drilling it in. And once it becomes a habit, this team's going to be pretty scary to deal with in the open court.
Coach spoke earlier about the potential of like a 3-guard lineup. He wasn't, opposed to that in any way. Do you think that would kind of help really get things going in terms of pace and just getting the ball down the court and getting good shots up?
Definitely. I mean, even if it's 3-guard, 2-guard, whatever it is, we've got wings as well that can get out and run in transition. And you know, that's a big weapon to have. To his point, could be 3 guards, can be 2 and 2, like whatever it is. We've got the personnel to where we can play in transition regardless of who's on the floor, and that's kind of what we want to do, and we spoke about it a lot throughout preseason. And as I said, we've drilled it a lot in with the guys that have been playing, have drilled it a lot in scrimmages. So, you know, it's you can only do so much of it in practice. It's when the game starts, we've got to really emphasize it and get out and run. But as I said, when we do that and just watching from afar these guys play pickup, they look great when they get out and run. The shot clock's shorter, guys are being forced to play in transition, and we've got the personnel where it's going to look really scary.
Hey, Josh, Darnell Mayberry, The Athletic. I'm curious about your passing. I mean, we all know that you're an elite, great passer, but some of the high-risk passes that you try, can you just explain your mindset in those moments, and how have you evolved in those moments where you see something and you really want to try it, even though it may not be the best, but you're going to try it anyway?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. I guess I've got kind of confidence in myself where maybe there's passes that I can't make that I think I can in my head, and I try to make them that probably aren't there in the moment. But I guess it's just a confidence thing. You can't, as a passer, you can't live on the edge. You can't, be hesitant to throw passes, because there's going to be times where you turn the ball over. It's just about doing that in moderation. And I spoke with Billy about that, and kind of throughout the Olympics, that was one of the things that if I could go back, I would clean up on, was just the turnovers. And just a lot of it wasn't, lack of ball handling. A lot of it was just careless passes and things that are so easily fixable. And, I've always been a pass-first guy, so just if, I'm going to be making those plays, you want to look after the ball. So putting an emphasis on that. A lot of it's going back, watching film, seeing different things that I could have done that I didn't do in the time. But, just taking care of the ball better is something that, obviously I need to get better at. And just watching the Olympics back, I watched every game and just kind of broke it down to different aspects and going over things where what I should have done differently, what I could have done in that moment. So there's a bunch of things, but you don't want to get to a point of the pass where you're overthinking everything. You just play your game, play naturally, and turnovers are bound to happen for anybody. But as long as you can keep it within moderation, it shouldn't be too big of a problem.
Hey Josh, Julia Post, Chicago Tribune. Just wanted to go back to the injury. What has kind of the rehab process looked like for that, and what is your expectation in terms of how much you can do in training camp?
Yeah, I mean, originally we thought it was just an ankle roll, so it was going to be the regular rehab, however long that took, and then, scans kind of did confirm it was a ATFL rupture, and we started rehab when I got back in Melbourne. I was there for about a month, and we were, well and truly on track, and came here, continued on that track, so everything's getting much better, and these things, it's probably at a point where if it was a playoff game, I'd be out there playing, but because we're in the off season, this isn't something you want to rush, and we just want to get it 100% right. The medical team here have been awesome with me, working with it every day, rehabbing, continuing to get my ankle stronger. So when I do get back to playing, it's fully fit and healthy, and I'm ready to go.
Do you expect to be fully available on opening day?
On opening day? Oh, yeah. I'll be fine by then. Yeah.
Josh, Kobe White obviously had a breakout season last year. Ayo Dosunmu had a strong end to the season. How do you kind of envision yourself playing alongside 2 other guards who need the ball in their hands as well?
Yeah, obviously Kobe, kind of broke out last year, and it was his coming out party, and the league has kind of been put on notice of how good of a player he is. Ayo's another one, super talented guard, and he was always one of the guys when we played the Bulls that was, one of the sneaky, tougher guys to go against. And obviously, I know this team and the guard depth that it has. It's a big luxury to have, and we've kind of spoke about like sacrifice and what's needed on a team like this with multiple guys that can carry the ball, and that's kind of to the point of getting out in transition where it's going to be kick aheads, throwing the ball up the floor, and it doesn't matter who starts the possession. There's multiple guys that can handle. So we've spoke about it, internally, and it's going to be something that has to happen, because there's only one basketball out there. So one guy can have it at one time, and these things will, as we develop together, training camp, preseason games, we'll start to figure out these little nuances throughout the offense, and where we each can be aggressive, where to defer, where to look to get other guys involved. So we've got a bunch of smart guys on this team, and we'll figure it out, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Hi, Josh. Alexander Žigić here, to the right, RTS TV, right TV, Serbia. Going back to the Olympics, what are your thoughts on the game, quarterfinals versus Serbia? You had 25 points, played great, but I think it was one of the biggest comebacks at the Olympics for Serbia. And what are you going to tell Nikola Jokic when you see him in town when they come for the game with the Nuggets?
didn't have to remind me about that. It was the biggest comeback in Olympic history, and it happened to be against us. And I mean, that was a game that just sat with me for weeks after that happened, and probably for me the most heartbreaking loss of my career. We were right there. You know, we got up 25 points against a talented team as that, and we had every opportunity to win that game and move on to the semifinals. And to kind of end the Olympic campaign that way was just, you know, it was very hard to do. And I think it adds fuel to the fire for the next time you go back to another Olympic Games. And we've got to wait till, you know, LA in 28. But I know the guys that we have on the group are going to be ready to go again and don't want to feel something like that again.
Thinking back about that game, would you have done anything different? What do you think was the decisive factor?
I think in the first half we were great. We moved the ball, we got great shots, and once we got to the second half, we kind of changed what was working for us, and we went a lot, myself included, we went a lot of ISO ball, a lot of no-pass possessions, and it killed us. And they're too good of a team. They were never going to go out that easy, and they're too talented of a team that they were always going to make their run and come back, and we just didn't sustain it well enough. And as I said, it's heartbreaking, but these things help you as a player, builds character, so we know for next time that to beat a team like that, it's going to take 40 minutes. You can't do it in 20. So we had to keep our foot down, and we just didn't do that.
Josh, Zach LaVine obviously endured injuries last season, and also some off-the-court stuff in terms of trade situations, things like that. People kind of forget. Some people, I think, are forgetting that he's a two-time All-Star, was one of the most efficient scorers in the league the previous 3 seasons. What is kind of your view of him as a player, and how do you think you can complement his strengths?
I mean, yeah, he's a superstar in this league, and you know he's been an All-Star. He's a max contract guy. He's a star player in this league, and I think, you know, as you said, people forgot that, and I'm super excited to play with him. I know how talented he is. We've spoke a fair bit already about ways we can play together, be effective together, and it'll help when we get on the floor at the same time. But you know, to your point, like a superstar in this league, and people need to you know, show him the respect that he deserves, because he is one of the best players in the league when he's healthy. And for a guy like myself, a pass-first guy, he's going to be an unbelievable you know, teammate to play with.
We have one more question.
We do.
My guy, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, I'm good.
I got 2 questions actually.
Yep.
Bro, how do you keep your hair like behind your ears like that?
A little product. I already had this question before. Wake up, shower every morning, put a little product in there, and it actually stays in place pretty well.
For real, like during the game, do you hit one of these? Like,
Well, yeah, I got to flick it out my eyes here and there. It gets a little sweaty,
Tight,
but
yeah.
no, it's good. I've got used to it at this point in my career, so I'm pretty familiar with it.
Okay, that's what's up. I have another question. Obviously you've been in the Bulls probably like what's been like 2 months, 1 month?
Yeah.
You know,
2 months.
2 months now. Who's your favorite teammate so far?
Tough question.
You better answer this question
maybe
right.
Dalen.
There we go.
Maybe Dalen. He was actually, for guys that don't know, I was trying to get a dog while I was out here.
Yeah.
And DT has the French Bulldog Connect.
Yeah, if you need a frenzy, let me know.
That's the guy to go to. So
yeah, that.
French Bulldog lovers, that's your man right there.
Yeah, I got a Frenchie. I'm gonna bring him next time to talk to you.
Perfect.
We're gonna talk. Yep.
Thanks, guys.